Dear guests, we are gathered here today to discuss a human rights issue. Cervical cancer is not just a medical phenomenon. Cervical cancer is a preventable biological calamity, a socio-economic threat, and an entire civilization's moral trial that condemns 9 out of 10 diagnosed women in low and middle income nations to a premature passing. Few tragedies have ever been as unforgiving in their deadlines. Picture it with me for a moment, dear guests. Picture the brave and hopeful medical graduate who delivers her first mass cervical cancer screening here in Rwanda or in some heavenly island in the Pacific Islands or somewhere else in south of Asia. Picture her dismay of horror as the numbers of her diagnosed cases rises, and her training, her expertise has taught her one thing: most, if not all, of the women in front of her, that this cancer has latched onto will die soon, will die in pain, and will die in vain. Perhaps she begins to count the families that will be torn and irreversibly wounded by the diagnostic that she is to deliver. Perhaps the initial affection she had for her noble profession begins to dwindle as she sees in real time the obstacles that poorly strategized global governance and macroeconomic policies, financial constraints, or worse, the indifference of some can pose in using her expertise to stop people from dying. But whatever the experience, in that moment of disturbing realization, in that confrontation with imminent, seemingly unavoidable death, she knows that what is to come for the woman who are to discover the diagnosis is infinitely worse. Honorable guests, I know you can make sense the urgency in the room today. Quite simply, there is no more time. We can no longer brandish softened truth to appease the public that may itself discover the cruelty of the global medical crisis at hand in much harsher ways as it has over the past 3 years. The facts are damning. The COVID-19 pandemic has led to devastating consequences for patients with all types of cancer. Many of these patients have experienced missed diagnosis and delayed treatment due to health systems under pressure and patient reluctance to seek medical care. For women suffering with cervical cancer, COVID-19 has been additional leverage for their disease, which in our countries thrives through compromised access to healthcare. And this isn't all. COVID-19 has shone a light on one alarming truth. The world is underfinancing its healthcare systems. Sadly, this is a cycle in itself. Medical infrastructure, medical research, medical training, medical tools, and medicine are all underfunded. This underfunding is then used as a justification for why the rates of cervical cancer around the world are rising rapidly, despite commendable medical breakthrough in the past decade. Commonwealth friends, this concerns every one of us directly, irrespective of gender. The Commonwealth features 43% of the cancer mortality around the world, despite hosting only 30% of the world's population. Discrepancy is not accidental. It points to a breakdown in our medical research partnerships, in our cross-border, cross-sector strategizing, and in our implementation of prevention policies. If we fail, dear guests, to rectify these shortcomings immediately, instead of ensuring unequivocal progress by 2030, we'll be counting one fatality from cervical cancer every 3 minutes. The time of an average commute to work, at least half of a dozen women will have died from the disease. Every night's sleep from then on, we would awaken to over 120 sisters across the world, dead from a sickness that we hold the powers in our hands to eliminate. We must actively refuse to leave our children to such a fate, whether female or male, the child of one. Honorable guests, I hope I have not placed a damper on the mood this lovely afternoon. Regardless of the grimness of the situation, the facts are there is hope. There is a reason, there are resources, and there are solutions. The Global Cervical Cancer Elimination Strategy is a key to reaching our 2030 Sustainable Development Target 3.4, which aims to reduce by 1/3 the occurrence of premature death as the result of a non-communicable disease. One of the features of this strategy is the vaccination of girls under 13 against HPV. I'm pleased to commend all member states of the Commonwealth for committing to giving 100% of our girls under 13 the access to HPV vaccination. Rwanda is no exception to the Commonwealth-wide commitment against cervical cancer. Our immunization against HPV of young girls aged 12 has floated consistently above 90% since its introduction in 2011. Screening, ladies and gentlemen, is also one of our top priorities, and we are confident that in the next couple of years before 2030, 70% of women eligible for cervical cancer screening will have received their potentially life-saving screening. So like you, Commonwealth guests, this country is aware that the fight against this disease is still ours to win, not in the distant future, but today. If we make the commitment, that matters. The Global Cervical Elimination Strategy is our guide. Vaccines, screenings, and treatments are our tools. And dear friends, the responsibilities we hold over women and all members of the Commonwealth in sickness as in health should be our manifesto. Let's win the fight together. I thank you all.